Hello, Facebook. I'm Sunset Carson Appleton, and today I've got Gatorade Fierce Melon for us. Yesterday I put up a poll. I went to Publix, which is a fantastic grocery store that I believe originated in Florida, and it's crept its way up to Asheville, North Carolina, where I live now, and to Weaverville, which is just a little bit north of us. And they seem to gear themselves, at least in this area, towards tourists and towards people with little boutique needs that they're not necessarily able to get at other stores, other grocery stores in the area. And that being so, they have a fantastic diversity of beverages. And I was in Ingles earlier that day, and I was looking for something to review, and there are a couple that I'm not really 100% excited about reviewing, and I know that some people are excited about that prospect itself, but going to Publix, there were some that I couldn't necessarily get other places, or I haven't been able to anyway. So I found the strawberry watermelon, which I've had before and I really like. I found the cool blue, which I haven't had before and I have a feeling I'm not going to like. And I found the fierce melon, which was recently recommended to me by regular watcher Olin Ball. So I knew that I had to do it because he's been one of the biggest supporters. I work with him, and he's always bringing me bottles of Gatorade while I'm at work. I see video on my screen, Seth, so I don't think there are any issues. It's not telling me there are any issues. But yeah, Fierce Melon comes upon recommendation already, and I opened up a poll yesterday. I asked what y'all want to see me drink first, and not by a wide margin, but Fierce Melon did win out. Before I go any further, I want to give a shout out to my good friend and regular watcher Casey Messer, her partner Logan, and their new baby Sage. I am cleansing my palate, and let's talk about the color a little bit here. I am thinking about solutions to color discrepancies here, because I'm realizing more and more, the more that I do this, the more these colors don't necessarily translate on a cell phone screen. But I will say this is kind of an unusual color. It's not unsightly by any means. I rather like the color of it, but it's sort of pinkish orange, and I'm not used to seeing that color in a Gatorade. It's like it catches your eye when you're looking at the Gatorade rainbow on the store display. You can't instinctively tell what it is, and like people there was an internet meme going around, and people keep sending it to me to make fun of me. That if you identify Gatorade flavors by the name of the flavor instead of the color, you're a cop. And I'm kind of a stickler about that, because it's like, what kind of blue is it? Is it light blue? Is it Glacier Freeze? Is it Cool Blue? Is it Fierce Blue Cherry? You know. But with this, like, there's not even, like, I don't know about y'all, but there's not really, like, a color that I could immediately associate with this other than calling it melon. Like, it's melon colored, so it's like saying orange Gatorade. But anyway, so I think it's a cool color. I think that if you're concerned about aesthetics in your choice of Gatorade and someone sees you walking around drinking this color of Gatorade, they might go, what the hell is that? That looks cool. It's in the Fierce line, which we've had issues with in the past, if you've been watching. The Fierce Strawberry I reviewed a couple weeks ago was one of my least favorite Gatorades that I've ever had. And it was because it was a really strong Kool-Aid-esque artificial fruit flavor. Strawberry is a flavor that I love. I even really like strawberry Kool-Aid, but it was too cloyingly sweet. And I mean, I like Fierce Grape sort of, but again, it's that Kool-Aid kind of sugary artificial fruit flavor. Kristen says, I've never heard the if you call the Gatorade by the real name instead of the color, you're a cop bit, but I've heard that if you call it by the actual name, you are a serial killer or a psychopath. Well, I don't know what to say about that exactly. That's not me. I'm just a stickler for precision, and it makes more sense to me the way that my brain is organized to refer to it by a flavor when there are so many flavors with roughly the same color than it does to refer to it by a color. Because if I told someone, get me the blue one, and they got me like Fierce Blue Cherry instead of Glacier Freeze, I would be rather upset. Anyway, we've covered the color, we've covered our history with the Fierce line. We haven't mentioned the Vince Carter Think I'm Gonna Need More Fierce commercials this time, so obligatory mention of that. I think I'm actually going to put the, if I can remember to, I'll put the link to that advertisement from the late 90s in the comments when I'm done. It's the video, it's the commercial where basketball player Vince Carter is drinking new Fierce Gatorade and has to play basketball with a raptor for some reason, and then at the end, like, more raptors come in after he kicks the one raptor's ass at basketball, and like more come into the court. CGI raptors, mind you, it was the 90s. And he looks at the camera and he's sweating purple because he's drinking Fierce Grape, and he goes, think I'm gonna need more Fierce. Anyway, actually it's like a bluish purple because Fierce Grape is not quite purple. Anyway, I cleansed my palate already, but I talked some more, so gonna crack it open. That smell, that's definitely, it smells like a melon, like straight up, like just like cutting open like a cantaloupe, like that kind of smell. Yeah, that's solid. Like, that is true to life. I'm just gonna swap my record over real quick. Listening today to Duke Ellington, Royal Concert with Duke Ellington, which I found in the collection that I inherited from my father. Anyway, yeah, distinct, straight cantaloupe flavor. I don't know if you've ever walked up to a fruit spread and you get that melon smell. Like cantaloupe is just one of the strongest smells to me on a fruit spread. And it's not my favorite fruit, but it's solid. Like it's like mid-tier, I guess I would say. But if you like that smell, then it's all right there. Like, it doesn't smell like fake. It doesn't smell like a discrepancy between artificial and natural. Excuse me. I got a call from a number that I suspect isn't real. Anyway, if you like that smell, it's right there. Let's see about the taste. That is very pleasant. I wouldn't... My first thought is, this doesn't taste like a fierce flavor. I have a tendency to expect fierce flavors to taste very aggressive. And exceptionally sugary, like the more sugary ones. I mean, Frost, too. Frost tends to be exceptionally sugary. But this is not an aggressive flavor. It sits nicely on those sweet spots on the tongue. Here, away on back, on the sides, like, it's very, very refreshing. I'm already feeling good about this one. This is one of the better Gatorades I've had in a while. Oh, and for the record, if I've ever had this one before, I don't remember. So I'm not sure exactly when I would have had it, but I feel good about it now. I mean, it drinks easy. I don't feel like I have to pace myself with it. It's a mellow cantaloupe flavor. I actually feel like it's less aggressive than eating an actual cantaloupe, because there's something, like, it's not a terribly sweet fruit, but there's something kind of cloying about it to me anyway. And that scent, it's just so, like, dominating. But this, to me, I feel like it's distilling the positive aspects of that experience. It's kind of like, you turn lemons into lemonade. It's like you turn melons into melonade, and there it is. There's your Homestar Runner reference for the day. Dude, I could drink the hell out of this. Like, I'm pretty excited about this one. I strongly recommend it. It is a rarity, where I am, anyway. Like I said, I can't remember if I've ever had it, and that's because I don't think I've seen it in quite some time. And melon, like, again, cantaloupe isn't one of my favorite fruits, so I probably wouldn't have gone out of my way to try it, other than now that I'm trying to try pretty much every Gatorade flavor. Blake asks, is there any negative aftertaste? No, it doesn't really linger that much. I mean, as with all Gatorades, like, the more you drink it, the more it starts to build up on your tongue. But, like, I'm about a third of the way through it. It's like, I can exhale and taste a little bit of it, but it's really just like that faint watery fruitiness. It's not negative in any way, and like thus far it's pretty subtle. I am going to keep going because of that build up and seeing if there's anything else that comes up. Man, that's good. That is really good. Like, I don't know if I've been as hype about another one. Like, there are still definitely Gatorades that I enjoy more than I mean they're like all-time favorite Gatorades. But the last time that I feel like I tried a Gatorade for the first time in my memory and got this like, hell yeah, I could drink tons of this sensation was when 7-Eleven in 2015 temporarily re-released the lemon ice Gatorade. That was so good. That's one of my favorite ever, and you can't get it anymore, of course. That's my curse, as I always say, is that I always fall in love with the rarest flavors, and if they're not rare, they get discontinued at the very least very quickly. So that said, probably go get this one if you can before it disappears completely, because I like it. Yeah, definitely no immediate aftertaste. You just get, that sugar water with faint melon flavor attached to it on the back of your tongue. But it's not getting too sticky about halfway through the bottle. I'm into it. It's very quenching, not too sweet, not an aggressive flavor, which again I'm surprised it's in the fierce line, which right on the bottle indicates that it is, quote, bold and intense. That's in reverse. Anyway, it is probably, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much every bit as sugar filled as any other flavor, but it doesn't taste as syrupy as some other flavors, especially other fierce flavors. I highly recommend this one. Like I said, it's been a while since I had a new one and was as immediately enthusiastic about it as this one. So, Fierce Melon, highly, highly recommend. It's a rarity. I know it's been reported around my area recently, but I forget where exactly Olin said he got it when he suggested it to me, but I got it at Publix in Weaverville. They have a very good variety. Again, they also have the strawberry watermelon, which I greatly enjoy and will be reviewing with y'all pretty soon. I might do the cool blue first as penance. I know some people. I know that from a poll I took a while back, I know that more people like to see me review something I really like than something I really dislike. And I also have been ranting on Facebook lately about how little I care for, particularly reviews of art, music in particular, because that's kind of my bag, that where the review basically is discouraging the reader from consuming it. And I find that deplorable. I think that a reviewer should be finding the positive in something. They should be pointing out details that an amateur listener or someone who listened to something casually might not pick up on the first listen or couple of listens. They should be illuminating the context of the work. They can talk about why it's important historically. They can talk about what the artist was doing to put this together. It's like, Fleetwood Mac, Rumors, enormously important record to me, enormously important record to countless people. But how easily would we get attached to it without the human interest? Those are things that a reviewer should do. What a reviewer should not be doing is lambasting a work out of their frustration with it because it's not within their taste. They shouldn't be committing character assassination against an artist. They shouldn't be making fun of the listeners. They shouldn't be using negative connotation cultural touchstones as comparisons. I think that's tasteless. I think it's unethical. Where that's different is reviewing consumables. I think it's important to be able to recommend or not recommend something if you have to spend money on it. With the consumption of art, like the experience of the capitalist transaction is a little different. I mean, obviously with music, if you have Spotify, let alone if you have Spotify Premium, I mean, you're already investing that because you're going to be listening to tons of music. But then your time is valuable, so it's like, don't listen to this, listen to this, Like, I think you should be trying to find the positive, and if you don't have positive things to recommend about something, don't say, you shouldn't be listening to this, or you shouldn't make people go back and say, did I really like it that much? Because this guy didn't like it that much, because I find increasingly less articulation in negative reviews by and large. There are some counterexamples of that, and there are examples of pointing out flaws in a work, but doing so for the sake of discouraging people from listening to it. And we know that there are music publications that are making negative reviews because they didn't get the payola they were looking for. I'm not going to implicate anyone in that, but we know this to be true. Okay, I'm going on a rant, obviously. Point being, Gatorade drinkers, your money is valuable, and I like getting excited about Gatorade, and I like finding the Gatorades that I enjoy, and I like to offer recommendations. And if you find our tastes align, then, and I discourage you from drinking one, you can always go back to an old standby, because if you're drinking Gatorade either way, all the money's going to the same place. Seth says, if you had to describe the scent and flavor that watermelon and cucumber have in common, I think cold water, not necessarily rain on pavement. Hard to articulate at the moment. Yeah, it's they're both very watery. I mean, like they have a ton of water content in them. Both of them do. I'm trying to get my tongue brain in order, but I have melon on there. I'm gonna cleanse my palate one more time and see if I can take a moment to articulate it. So yeah, I'd call it. Well, I mean, you'd say cold water because you're probably serving those cold. I think just in general, it's just because they're both so juicy and have so much water content that they both they're gonna. I guess it takes up the character of whatever water they're fed. So I tend to think of that. I guess because probably the most of the produce that you're getting has some variety of tap water feeding it. So it does taste like pretty much the water we're used to. Anyway. That is a good Gatorade. And I highly recommend, if you see it, again, it's a rarity, if you happen to spot it at your at whatever grocery store or gas station, whatever you find yourself in, and you haven't had it before, I think it's definitely worth a try. It's going to catch my eye in the future. That unique orange, pinkish orange color to it stands out. And if you spot it, say, hey, what's that? Like, yeah, I would go for it. I've gone on quite some time now, so I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. But thank you for watching. Probably Cool Blue will be up next. I'm not sure. And also, if you've made it this far, my band, Bless Your Heart, is performing at the Benefit for Transmission Prison Project tonight at the Double Crown in Asheville. Music starts at 8. If you are free, I recommend you check it out. Again, thank you to Olin for recommending this particular Gatorade. Thank you to everyone who voted for it. Thank you to everyone who watched. Congratulations to Casey and Logan and Sage. Peace out.